Hello there, my name is Valerie White-Williams and I'm a voice teacher and a vocal coach for Vocal Splendor Studios. Today I'm doing another reaction video, and this time I'm so excited to react to Kate Bush, David Gilmour of Pink Floyd performing Running Up That Hill back in the day live concert. I've been a fan of Kate's for a long time and I'm so excited to listen. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell so you get notified of all of my uploads. All right, let's have a listen. I'm gonna stop. Yes, I love Kate. I remember I had a friend that played Kate, and I was a music student. I was being into jazz, and when he played that album, I was like, who is this? I loved it. I loved her voice. I loved her style. I loved what she was doing. And Kate has kind of been a niche person in the United States. I know she's huge in UK, but not everybody knows her. But I'm so excited that she's getting exposure with Stranger Things, because I've fallen for her that very day, and I thank Jay Stevens, yeah, call out to Jay, that introduced me to Kate, and I've been a fan ever since. Now, what's cool about this is that she is performing with David Gilmour and Pink Floyd, so it's definitely her arrangement. Kate is this brilliant songwriter, singer, arranger. She always had in her head exactly how she wanted things to sound. And she's kind of a bit on the shy side, so she doesn't do a lot of live concerts. She usually records in her own studio. I don't think she's really even gone to the United States that much. Unfortunately, she'd probably be more popular. But hearing this different type of guitar work and the guys and that huge mullet from the 80s, it's really fun. So yeah, and it's interesting. Look how many clothes she's wearing. Yeah, she was, when she had done other concerts where she was dancing. But yeah, let's just keep going. That guitar. She enunciates so much. Now, because I did discover her, she's one of my favorites. I learned that she was back in the day, because she was this girl wonder. She got a record contract very early on, and she was trained to get some voice lessons and dance lessons. And turn us up Sunday. She's got really great diction. Of course, most British people do, but she's really enunciates very clearly, and her music is always so unique. Every song is different, and I've always loved this one. It's just like angsty. There's some angst to it, and I love hearing the backing vocals from Pink Floyd, because on her album it was done in her studio, and her voice is so clear and bell-like, but super passionate. stop just now. I'm so familiar with the album version, and I'm just so fascinated with this live version with Pink Floyd. And I think if I'm remembering correctly, David Gilmour discovered her. And she was just like this shy girl that wrote songs. Pretty amazing. So I'm seeing how it's going to end because I know the song by heart, so I'm really going to be curious to see it. You know, the soloing, so great. I loved seeing that. It was really fun. It was really pretty much arranged basically with the original album that she did in the recording, but it was really fun to see her just perform, and her voice is just so crystalline. It's so clear. Of course, she has great diction, and that was one of my favorite ones. I also like The Big Sky, but running to, you want to change, just her lyrics are so deep. She doesn't do like really fluffy like dance hits. She always has something that is deeply felt, and you almost have to kind of like wonder what is this about? What is exactly it? Now, to be honest, that album was one of my favorites. I think that's my favorite album, and that's when I first heard her, and I just loved all her effects. She was really experimental. I loved her voice. She had a voice kind of like mine, kind of different, but I had those lonely could. Yeah. Dearest God. She uses a lot of different resonance in her face. You only could do, lots of overdubs. And it was really great to see her perform with Pink Floyd and David Gilmour, who discovered her and got her famous. At least in the UK. I know she's been huge in the UK. She's been a major star. Everybody knows her. Not everybody knows her in the United States because she just didn't really tour. If she had toured, now I think she did sing Just Get Up, this Peter Gabriel. So she did sing with that album with Peter Gabriel, Don't Give Up. But that was just a duet, and I don't know if it carried over for her other songs partially much. I actually have all her albums because I became a huge fan of her and her songwriting and just her recording. She would actually record without cymbals. Like, she just had some really interesting things that she did. Like, she actually had all these toms but not cymbals in those albums, and she was really progressive as far as using recording things, and that's why the keyboards were all the rage, and she just was like really on it and very progressive, and usually worked with really great bands. She also had a brother that worked with her, Patty, I think that was his name, did some of the more acoustic things, but just kind of a genius singer, and she was inspired by so many things. And she got that record contract early on. I think it was The Kick Inside I think that was the first one. And she actually later, fired her producers and she produced her own, which made her music even more progressive from that time period back in the day. And just this brilliant voice, very bright, very high soprano, but she also had some nice lower resonance. She definitely has a trained voice, but with the training, it gives you more options for what you can do. So some people think, I don't want to train my voice, I'll sound trained. Well, no, you will actually have a voice that's resilient and a voice that can do whatever you want it to do. I mean, we're not talking about opera singing like this. She never sounded that way, but she could, she resonated. She could do different things with her mouth. On the wedding list, she does a lot of music, and she's always been a favorite of mine. I think I have her most recent album. I don't know if she's doing anything more, because I think she's that artist that she has to have this inspiration. She's going to bring things in, and she's not going to just do anything. She's going to do something that really means something, even though we don't always know what the meaning is. But I think she gets so much inspiration from literature and art. And that's what I've said before. Artists are inspired by art. They're inspired by other musicians. They're inspired by artists. They're inspired by literature. They're inspired by film. So this is how it works. You get inspired by all these things. And of course you get inspired from your life or circumstances, but she's done a lot of songs that are not about her life, but of historical figures even. So really, really interesting. Cloud Busting, that's another really interesting song. And that's about the guy, I can't remember his name now, but basically he was using cloud busting and he got shut down. And I'll remember the name later because I can never remember it when it comes out. But it was really fun to see the relationship between her and David Gilmour, because, she's a little bit shy and she doesn't always perform very much. But you could see that she felt really comfortable. Like they were almost family and everything felt really good. And that song is so amazing. And I'm so excited to see it being featured on Stranger Things. Now, I think I only watched the first episode of this last season, but I was super happy to hear that her music was featured. I need to keep watching it, but my kids have watched it and they got me into it from the other seasons, but super happy that Kate is now getting the audience she deserves, because that's the thing. Sometimes it takes time to discover great art, and I'm glad that people are looking back to that era, because that's when music was like really progressive. People were doing all these interesting things. They put money into going to the studio. They weren't doing cheapo stuff. They were doing really awesome things. So I think that mid-'80s was a really prime time for creative music, especially in the UK, because they were always a bit more progressive, I would say, than some of the United States, which is about let's go dance. But I mean, dancing is fun too. But I love Kate, and I'm so glad that she's getting the audience she so deserves. All right, so you Kate Bush fans like me, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell, and let me know of any other live reactions or live video of Kate, because she is a solid performer. I've seen her with the video when she's doing all that dancing and stuff, but I would love to hear more. So put it in the description, give me the links. I want to listen to more live Kate. All right. And also I want to let you know of my 2 free passion projects. The first one is called YouTube Success Strategies, and that's for people that want to make sure they can do YouTube right. Because YouTube is not only about making videos. No, there's a lot more to it to get discovered and growing. And then the other is Creative Soul Alignment, and that's for people that are interested in creativity and spirituality, which is totally Kate. She was always about all those things from very, very beginning. And that's the thing, is that we are here to create a world that works for all of us. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to visualize that world, and then we're going to make it happen. I hope you join me with that. All right, take care. Bye.